Over the past few years, the racing world has witnessed a number of incidents that put somewhat of a spotlight on safety elements like the race cars themselves or motorsport in general, including a few incidents in Formula E. Which leads us to the question often asked, how safe is electric street racing? I'm Saunders CB, and this is Formula E Explained.
The very nature of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship, its nose-to-tail racing, tight street circuits and next to no runoff areas means that contact with other cars or the walls is far more likely than in other championships. It's what makes racing in Formula E so competitive and challenging and why we love it. But when there's more risk of contact and collisions, safety has to be on point to keep the drivers safe. So what does that look like? In this episode, we'll look at how the cars are built with safety in mind, how the tracks and the barriers work, and what happens after a Formula E car crashes.
So let's start by talking about the cars, how they're designed, what makes them safe, and what's specific to Formula E. I could tell you about that, but why do that when we can talk to a Formula E driver? Here's Sam Bird, Jaguar racing driver and Formula E veteran, to talk us through it.
So guys, this is my racing car for season 7. Let me talk you through some of the safety aspects of what I sit in and try and go super fast in. Let's start from top to bottom. Here we have the roll hoop and here we have the halo. Both work in combination really. My head sits around here, so at no point, even if I roll over, will my head ever come into contact with the ground. Then we get to the main part of the chassis. Full honeycomb carbon fibre. You've got side impact panels in here dedicated to keeping me safe from a side crash. We've got side impact structures here so that if I get hit from the side, that will crumble. All of this car is based around safety, yet at the same time it needs to be light enough to race. It can't be a tank, but I feel super safe and secure within my safety cell. We have the lights on the front, so there's 3 lights here. One of them is red, that's a no-no. The car is live, but there's an issue. You need to stay put in the car, the FIA will come to you, and you need to be extracted out of the car safely, otherwise you might be a piece of crispy bacon. Green, everything's fine, good to go and get pole position. And blue, you've been involved in the shunt that's over a certain amount of G-force, you need to go and see the doctor. I've also brought my seat along. Seat technology has improved a lot. So firstly, this goes in, and my legs sit here, my knees go in here so that in event of an accident, my knees don't hit each other and hurt my legs. Then we've got the seat itself. It's a safety seat and it has its own shell whereby if I am in a crash, the FIA and the medical team can lift me out in one go, and that makes our racing so safe. I feel safe when I jump into my race car. The FIA, in conjunction with Formula E, are working tirelessly all the time to ensure that these cars are not only super fast, delicate machines on race circuits, but also super safe for us racing drivers.
So as Sam mentioned, the main aim of those safety structures is to stop any pointed objects from penetrating the monocoque during an accident. It keeps the driver safe, but it's also essential considering there is a big, powerful battery involved.
A penetrated battery wall is not what anyone wants. Exposed live currents or electrical fires are best avoided. So the FIA have made sure the cars and battery structures are built from the same anti-intrusion carbon fibre composite that surrounds the car, plus internally insulating glass fibre. This casing is tested under intense pressure and impact to account for a long list of eventualities, so that a breach is very unlikely to happen. And even if it does, the cooling system that's used inside the battery is dielectric fluid, which means it doesn't conduct electricity as it cools down the battery. Super smart and super safe tech. They're not kidding when they say some of the best engineering developments come from motorsport. Brake discs and seatbelts, just to name a few others. And now with high-performance batteries, this is one of the less visual ways that Formula E helps advance the technology that finds its way into road cars.
So as we've seen, the safety elements of the cars are very impressive, but it doesn't stop there, because on the track, these walls and barriers that surround the circuit might look straightforward, but they too are especially designed with very specific safety purposes in mind, and they can differ from corner to corner.
Track safety and the barriers used are the product of the work undertaken by the FIA Safety and Formula E department. A thorough consideration of track design and safety influence which barriers are used, where and why.
So this looks like a concrete wall. It is a concrete wall, but it does serve a very particular purpose.
On a street circuit, you want to keep the cars and any debris confined to the track, and a concrete wall setup and a side impact allows for the cars to ride along the wall until they come to a stop, rather than bounce back out into the track, potentially in front of moving cars. I'm in the wall! The same logic applies for tyre walls too, but with the added benefit of absorbing some of the impact of crashes in places where a head-on collision might be more likely. And the belt that holds the tyres together helps spread the load of the impact across the tyres rather than just the area hit by the car. This then encourages a more shallow crash and again stops the car from bouncing back out of the wall and potentially into other cars.
A more recent addition in motorsport are these Tech Pro barriers. Also designed to absorb energy in the same way as a tyre wall, but even more so. They're reinforced with layers of foam and often even a steel rod that goes through the middle. You might think that they look like they could be moved easily, but trust me, these are not going anywhere without a lot of force.
Because of the shape, Tech Pro barriers can be easily linked and constructed in different configurations, with the ability to swap out any damaged barriers with new ones so racing can resume more quickly.
So the cars are built to be super safe, the tracks are designed to lessen the impact of any crashes, but what happens after a Formula E car crashes? And how does that differ in electric street racing? Here's Lucas di Grassi, Season 3 champion, to tell you how.
So hopefully you don't crash the car, but if you do, you have first to understand if it's a big one. If it's a big one and you're not upside down, the first thing you do is try to move your feet and hands. If you are in one piece, then there is a procedure that you need to follow so you can jump out of the car. The first thing is the race director will get in communication with you through the radio.
Can I jump out, Scott?
If it says you're good to go,
hey Lucas, yeah, okay.
You need to look at the lights. If it's a green light, it means you can jump out, the car is electrically stable. If it's a red light, it means there's a short circuit and you have to stay inside. In case of the green light and you're able to jump out, you take your radio off, you take your belt off, you take your steering off, and you jump, you go through the halo, jump off the fence, and then walk back to your garage. You probably kick a few stuff out, throw the camera away, and go to the back of the garage, and you're gonna have a pretty bad day from then onwards.
And if things don't go as smoothly as that, the FIA medical and extraction teams have an especially unique procedure to get the car and driver back safely.
So as soon as there is an accident on track, we ask the marshal to check the light of the car. If the light is red, we have to put the car full red flag, and then we send all the recovery team to extract the driver in a safe way.
There is a red car stop on track.
Rescue car all received over.
The red car means that there is an issue with the electric process. No one can touch the car without the approval of the race control. You just report to race control, and then race control send the rescue team.
Stand by for red car, guys. All received, all received.
There is a high voltage on these cars, so in case of crash, you should have some high voltage on the bodywork of the car. So we put some cover all over the car to be sure that there is no contact between the bodywork, the ground, and the guy who work on the car.
Stand on the cover, that's it, that's it. Okay, don't turn on the car.
The most important when we extract the driver is to protect the spine. We use a device called the BOA, which is a yellow device you can see on the film.
Okay, boa coming in. Right. Over the top, you go under.
And with this device, we can remove the driver from the car without touching his neck.
Going up. Ready. And lift.
In the stress of the accident, you have to be sure that you don't make any mistakes by touching the car, the live car, with your body and make a risk for yourself. So far, we never have any incident with the car. Every time the protection made by the engineer with the battery makes that we never have to extract a driver from a red car. The red car exercise is done every races on the Friday to be sure that if it's happened during the race, it's something they knew perfectly. So no mistakes with this exercise.
Now, we couldn't talk about safety in Formula E without talking about the safety car. And who better to speak to than someone who's probably led more Formula E races than any other driver. Safety car driver, Bruno Correa.
Safety car deployed, safety car deployed.
I have safety car, safety car, safety car, safety car.
Our championship is totally different from any other championship around the world. So basically we run only in street circuits, so the challenge increases because normally when you have some incidents, you end up having debris on track, you end up having cars stop on track. So all the procedures, it's quite stressful, and for that we have this key element, which is the safety car, to avoid to neutralize the race with a red flag or whatever. So it's a key element to keep the race running without having to stop it.
Safety car, safety car. Affirmed, safety car deployed.
The races are only 45 minutes long, so there is that kind of pressure to get things going and getting right.
Oh, definitely. We don't have such long races like endurance races or whatever. We have 24 cars driving in between walls, a lot of blind corners, and here you are not allowed to do a mistake, you know. I cannot even scratch a rear mirror. Everything needs to be just perfect. And of course, these races are quick. There is a lot going on. A lot of overtakes. It's super exciting, these Formula E races.
And of course this season you've got a new safety whip to drive, this mini electric. How's it been?
Well, once you look to it, you have immediately this powerful design. Fully electric Mini. It's actually a very interesting car to drive, and of course goes with the ethos of championship of having a fully electric car. Good response, and for our specific tracks in Formula E, which are short laps, narrow, this car will work very well.
So inside this car, certain elements look like the same as what you could buy on the road, but there obviously are a lot of technical features that are specific to safety cars. Talk us through them.
This car was made from scratch by Mini, BMW Mini. One of the major things are our light systems. It's very important. It's the way we communicate to the drivers. We have a green light, a red light, and a yellow light. Also some flashing light to be glamorous on the grid when we are stopped on the grid in front of all the cars. I have, of course, all my information on this screen, such position of the cars. I can follow up the race live feed. I also have the timings, where they are, the location. The rear mirror is cool because it's digital. All the safety items that are mandatory by FIA are in place. So the seat you are seated on, the roll cage, the seat belts, 6-point seat belts, everything is in conform with the FIA homologations and regulations. We have a Kevlar underneath the car protection if you go over a curb or something like that. And of course it has a good performance. Along with the handling, it's very important to keep up in front of these fast guys.
So there we go, safety in Formula E and what happens after a crash explained. Let us know what you'd like us to cover in the comments and we'll make it happen.